Greetings, Pathfinders! Welcome, welcome! I'm your host, Dustin Knight, and this is Booster Bestiary, where we take a random booster pack and turn it into a Pathfinder 2 monster right here live on stream. If anyone has any preferences for these packs, go ahead and state it now, otherwise I am just going to roll this here dice. Little bit of news, why not? We have a big No Direction holiday special, will be tomorrow at, I believe, 5 o'clock Eastern. So check out our No Direction live stream. I'll be there. The entire No Direction, I think most, if not a large majority of the No Direction staff will be there talking about everything we've been up to this last year and giving our holiday cheers. I believe it's also the last show that Ryan will be formally hosting, the last No Direction show that Ryan will be formally hosting. So that will have some feels as well. Hi there, Numbat, and to answer the question, yes, Script, I agree. I should put some music in the in the opening thing. I've never thought of that for whatever reason. All right, so let's get to it. One more announcement. On Friday at 4 o'clock Pacific, I will be hosting my Infinite Reviews. It will be a little bit different format, as I will be going over every major release, every release that I have reviewed for Pathfinder Infinite, and kind of doing a broad overview of 2021, Pathfinder Infinite in 2021, what was good, what didn't quite hit the mark, my favorite books, just spending a little bit of time on every product. So that should be fun. So let's see here. I rolled a 5, a very cocked 5. I rolled a 2. All right. We will go ahead and do Innistrad Midnight Hunt. It says Draft Booster, but like I always say, these are from pre-release kits. So let's see if we can crack a Mythic. Oh man, it has been quite a month this last week, hasn't it? Man, it's been fun. All right, so we got a Duress standard, very Kuthanite art, tortury with chains. Man, let me adjust the light on this. Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? That's a little better. It's a dark card. That's the next one. All right, we got a tracker, standard human scout. Not too much you can do with that. You could give him a silver bolt. It would do more damage to werewolves, but usually werewolves are something that PCs fight, not something you want to necessarily give an NPC. A zombie bird that creates a non-flying zombie when it dies is kind of fun. Just kind of a zombie they grafted wings onto, the Falcon Abomination. That would be kind of an interesting character. I usually don't like doing creatures that, like I always say, I don't usually like doing creatures that die and then generate a second creature. They're kind of a nightmare to balance in any kind of an adjustable way, but it would be a fun challenge, and that wouldn't be a bad creature to do it with, given it is not that strong of a creature. It would be interesting to think what's the best way of doing that. Might of the Old Ways, we got a buff spell, Homestead Courage, power up your peasants, Immolation, make a creature stronger but easier to kill. Again, very hard to balance that. Defenestrate, you could throw people out of windows. That would be kind of fun for a Falcon Abomination to have. I'm going to put that over there because currently Falcon Abomination's winning this. Tireless Hauler, we have a guy hauling bricks who turns into a very, very buff werewolf. I don't think so. It's a little boring. It's just a werewolf. Just take the werewolf stats from Bestiary 2, and you got that one. Ritual of Hope. Yep, it buffs creatures. If I get a good white creature, I could maybe apply that to it. All right, here's uncommon, some interesting cards. Root Coil Creeper, a plant horror that could generate mana, especially mana that could cast spells from your graveyard, which means spells, ideally, technically, spells that you've already cast. Could also be spells you milled, but kind of interesting. A plant that could cast spells that have already been cast. A plant that facilitates casting spells that have already been cast. I kind of dig that. I kind of getting this idea of like how scrolls are made on paper. I understand most scrolls would be vellum, so they would technically be lambskin. But but most people think of scrolls as paper, and most people think of paper as trees. So having a magic tree that could suck the essence out of a fizzled out scroll and recast it, that's kind of badass. I think I like that more than the falling zombie. Here we have Deceiver of Secrets. If you need upkeep, look at the top card. You could transform. Is he a bug? He's a bug, isn't he? He is a bug. Yeah, he's a scientist turns into a bug. All right, kind of boring. Trixilophile. It's somebody who loves the number 13. No maximum hand size. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 13 or more cards in your hand, you win the game. And it wins the game when it has 13 hands. Kind of a Kira from JoJo vibe here. I'm not sure what I would do with this. This feels more like something you'd apply to another NPC. She doesn't do much herself. I suppose she has some cool rituals she does involving collecting hands, but it doesn't really say, the card doesn't really give you an idea of what that is. So I kind of prefer the Root Coil Creeper, I think. I don't know, that's pretty cool though. I think that's gonna be on the maybe pile here. I'm gonna look forward real quick. Is that a mythic? No, it's just a rare. Alright, we do have Might of Old Ways if we did want a spell to tack onto this creature, if we wanted to do the Royal Coil Creeper. So we have either a plant who uses dead scrolls, or a wizard who's obsessed and loves the number 13 and collects hands to make a clock. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the plant first, and if we have time, I will do the wizard. The wizard would basically be a caster, and like I see it more as we'd be making a ritual more than the actual character, where like if you have 13, what are these, left or right hands? These are right hands. So if you have 13 right hands, like you could use them to like go back in time or slow down time. I like the idea of them going back in time because I always do like that plot of the villain who like, you know, it's okay, any evil I do will be forgiven because I'm undoing my misdoings. Like, I do really dig that kind of a villain. It's a really fascinating morality problem. Copy image link. So let's stow here to our website focus. Last week, we did the half kitten, half octopus, and it was told to me on Facebook that there is a plushie called Tentacle Kittens that I remember, and I bought one for my friend a long time ago, so I can't believe I forgot about Tentacle Kittens while I was working on a half kitten, half octopus. But if you want that, it's all up on my social media. It looks like a fun creature. It's like an inventor, basically. Invents traps and then uses them to try to mind control people. So let's create a new monster. Alright, so Root Coil Creeper. It's only a 2/2 for 2, so he's not that strong. I'm thinking like a level 4 creature. It is a plant, so let's quickly go here to look at existing creatures. That's always the first thing I enjoy doing, as it can give you a little idea of where you might go with this. So plants would include, oh, we do have the Arboreal Archive. That is like that's too high level. Maybe just like a choker or something. Arboreal Regent is too high level. Arboreal Warden, there we have it. What do you do, Arboreal Warden? You have a shield block, so you're more of a fighter. Okay, we're just gonna add a baseline here, a base roadmap. We'll go ahead and use Magical Striker, I think. Let me look at him again. Root Coil Creeper. We'll go ahead and we'll make him a wisdom-based spellcaster, actually. That'd be more fun. Alright, so he's a plant. Plant Horror. That would make him an aberration plant. I'm going to say plant first, and then aberration second. So plant, aberration. He is definitely, I'm going to say he's uncommon just because the card is uncommon, and that tickles me. I gotta give him a name. Root Coil Creeper. Alright, let's make him level 4. We'll keep him neutral. He's just a plant. He's not aligned to any specific. He's just as he looks creepy, but it's Innistrad. Everything looks like that. If something doesn't look like that in Innistrad, it's probably actually worse. So let's give him Arboreal, Common, and Sylvan for languages. Let's make sure he has a high wisdom. Do we have that all marked down? He's level 4. Oh, I gotta apply the roadmap after applying the level. I learned that last time. It makes it a lot easier. There we go. I don't like charisma being that high for this character. Let's put it at a +1. Intelligence at 3 is fine. Let's make Dex a little lower and Con a little higher, and Strength a little lower to associate for the high Con. He's not going to have too much. For hit points, it sets it at low for a caster, but I just made his Con a little higher, which means I'm going to have to lower his armor class a little because he is a big tree boy. I want to increase his fort a little bit because he's a big tree boy, and to make up that, we're going to lower the reflex because he's not that agile of a tree boy. The high will save is perfectly fine for him. I do like giving him some weaknesses. So let's give him bludgeoning 5 and piercing 5 because he is a tree. And then we will give him axe vulnerability and fire 10. Do those go up right? They do. Excellent. Axe vulnerability is very common among trees. It's a fun, flavorful vulnerability to have. I love specific weapon vulnerabilities, so this works for me too. And the fire weakness, yeah, I like that. That makes sense. Oh, let's give him +1 versus spells. Cast from scrolls. Alright, so he has a +1 to his saves, +1 to saves versus scrolls. I don't think that's how you word that. I'm going to look really quick at a forest dragon, because all dragons get this against spells. You write it as +1 status. That's right. I have to type it. Duh. +1 status to all saves versus magic cast from scrolls. There we have it. Alright, we will give him low acrobatics. We'll give him moderate athletics. You always want to put athletics and acrobatics. We will give him... Man, what do we do about casting? We'll give him high nature, because that's his primary casting stat. But we're still going to give him low arcana and low religion, because he's a scroll caster, and they want to be able to know what they're casting. Let's give him moderate occult. Let's give him moderate religion, and low occult. There we go. He has surprisingly high number of skills. Intimidate, medicine. We'll give him a low stealth, terrible stealth, just to point that out. Is he big? He is large. Large. Oh, and he has low light vision. Low light vision. Low light vision. I wish that was just the default. And instead humans had human vision. Humans should really just have like some terrible vision while everyone else gets Can I just give him scroll lore? I could. Let's give him scroll lore. Make that high. And now we can get rid of Arcana. I'll keep Arcana. I like scroll lore. That's fun. All right. Yeah, I do severely wish that the default was low light vision, and in Pathfinder at least, because like most things have that. And then like day vision, I guess, light vision. I don't know. I mean, humans have pretty good low light vision. I feel like we have better vision in the real world than we do in Pathfinder as humans, which is weird because like we're not grizzled adventurers who are used to like delving down dungeons our entire lives. But now I'm just being semantic. Let's give him... Wow, that is way too fast. Let's give him 25 feet and woodland stride, because he is a living plant, so he could definitely go through the woods without leaving tracks. Low attack bonus and moderate to low damage. So yeah, he is going to have a branch strike. It's going to have low attack, which will be a plus... Let's get a little bit higher than low, a +10. It will do 2d4... What's his strength? +2 bludgeoning. And it will have the Arboreal Archive does... I think it has reach. I don't want to get this reach. Does it have reach? Yeah, it should have reach 10 feet. So it's not great, but giving him reach will help his main ability, which I'll go ahead and write now. Let's call this scroll cycling. Exile him, return target card with flashback you own from exile to your hand. Let's call it scroll recycling, I'll call it for now. Alright, so this is a offense, no actions. The Root Coil Creeper can cast any spell from a consumed scroll it is holding. So we'll have to pick up a consumed scroll to do this, but okay. So the Root Coil Creeper can cast any spell from a consumed scroll it is holding. Should it spend... It exiles itself to do this usually. Oh, no, I know what to do about that. Okay, so the Root Coil Creeper can cast any spell from a consumed scroll it is holding. Using... I think that's all you need to put. Can cast any spell. I'm going to grab Trick Magic Item real quick. There might be a special word we have to use to say cast. You examine a magic item you normally couldn't use in an effort to fool it to activate it temporarily. For example, this might allow a fighter to cast a spell using a scroll. Okay, so the Root Coil caster can cast any spell using a consumed scroll. As though the scroll was not consumed. Does that make sense? As though the spell were not consumed. Yes, was not consumed. Okay. Can use any spell, let's say up to 3rd level, using a consumed scroll as though the scroll was not consumed. Doing so completely consumes the scroll, causing it to meld into its body, causing it to absorb into the Root Coil Creeper's body. Awesome. Then let's have Spellbook Recycle. This will be a general ability, no actions. Actually, let's give us 3 actions. Let's give it 1 minute. It's a ritual. It is a Primal Ritual. Let's call this Spellbook. Not Scroll Consumption. Scroll Recycling. A Root Coil Creeper can sacrifice itself. I know it's like magic terms. I don't think you'd actually say sacrifice. Sacrifice itself to become a spellbook containing all the spells from scrolls it has consumed. That's actually pretty darn easy. Let's put a little conditions here. This is often done. This measure of last resort. This is often a last resort to help aid or empower. This is often a last resort to help a champion defend their woodland home. To help a champion defend their woodland home, but at times evil spellcasters have been known to force Root Coil Creepers. Oh, we got to make this a 10-minute, or a summoned one could do it. Haha. Can have been known to force Root Coil Creepers to perform the ritual against their will. Awesome. That's actually pretty simple. And let's also give him a couple little spells here. So we're just going to go under classes. Spells, Primal. Let's give him plant spells. Plant spells, plant spells. Let's give him Tanglefoot. So let's give him Detect Magic, Read Aura, Tanglefoot. Oh, I gotta give him his spell attack, spell DC. Let's make that spell DC a little lower. Let's make it like a 23. Alright, so cantrip. He has Detect Magic, Read Aura, and Tanglefoot. And, it's a good plant spell. Summon Plant. I don't like monsters having summons. Verdant Sprout. That's a fun one, but nah. Entangle's always fun. What level is that? That's a 2nd level spell? I don't want to give him 2nd level spells. He's only a 4th level creature, and he's not a primary caster. He mostly does his trick with his scroll. So let's just go ahead and give him Fear. No. Hydraulic Push. Heal. Mud Pit. Let's give him Lose the Path. That'd be kind of cool. He looks like he could lose the path. Let's give him Root Coil Creeper. Yeah, let's give him Lose the Path for his 1st level spell. And for his 2nd level spell, we'll give him Entangle. Perfect. And there we have it. A Root Coil Creeper. What time do we have? Oh, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and make that ritual for Triskaphile. Triskaphile. So let me just save this real quick. Download PNG. There we have it. And Triskaphile. Oops, you're all seeing my malware finder. There we go. Alright, so Triskaphile will be also pretty easy to make because we are just adding it to an existing, your existing wizard NPC. So copy image. Oops. Copy image link. Yeah, I like this. Root Coil Creeper. I feel like you should also be able to use cantrip scrolls that aren't consumed. But, whatever. I think he's fine. I'm being picky now. There we have it. Gatherer. Triskaphile. Alright. So, a wizard obsessed with the number 13. Is there any alternate art to this that might help explain it? Oh, there is. It's just her collecting hands in a vat. Okay. Pretty much the same thing. I prefer this art. So we'll stick to this. And this is the one I pulled anyway. So that is more accurate. Triskaphile's Ritual. So rituals are usually done like formatted like Abyssal Pact. Alright, so this is a rare ritual. It is evocation. It is going to be a level 9. I want to say level 13 ritual because, like, it's Triskaphile. I'm going to say level 13 ritual. I don't think those actually exist, but, like, you have to. It's, yeah, it only goes up to level 10. Man, you have to make this a 13th level ritual, though. It's the number 13. No, we will make this actual. We'll make this level 7. Sword of Recall. Yeah, I'll make this level 7. I'm going to stick to level 13 for the meme. I think it's hilarious. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'm going to make this an evil ritual. Yeah, definitely an evil ritual. It's not a creature, so ritual. I know I'm using the creature maker for the ritual, not the thing I should be using, but that's fine. Just don't tell anyone. It does mean we got to get rid of a lot of these. Go away, go away, go away. Excuse that noise right there. We are fine. Alright, so the idea here is that you have to collect 13 hands from 13 different creatures. Spellcasters, I'm even going to say. 13 different spellcasters who can cast at least first level spells. Who cast a number of level spells totaling 13. Ooh, I like that. That's cool. Alright, so get rid of all that. Go away, go away, go away. It still says hit points 1. I think that's funny. Okay, well, I'm going to have to modify that to look like an actual ritual when I go back to put it in there. I'll figure out how to do better. Figure out how to do better formatting later. So cast should take 13 days to cast. Can I do that? Can I do that here? Cast 13 days. Cost 13 hands from 13 spellcasters capable of casting 13 combined levels of spells. Secondary casters 0. Because it's just the Triskeliphile doing this. Oh, I gotta get rid of that attack. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Delete. Oh, let's get rid of the speed. Spells do not, in fact, rituals do not, in fact, have a speed. Why does it list 5 feet? Oh, whatever. Like I said, I'm going to clear that up later. Alright. So, primary check, definitely occultism. Expert. For a 13th level ritual, I guess that'd be legendary. Secondary casters, primary. 0. Okay, that's what I did wrong. There we go. Primary occultism. Secondary checks will be society and... Oh, I have list skills right here. Let's do society and arcana. Don't know why there'd be secondary checks when there's no secondary casters. I guess the hands function as the secondary casters. So under secondary casters, I'm going to put 13 and an asterisk. All right, so range. There's no range, so it's just there's no target. I guess target would be yourself, so there's no target either. All right, so we're good here. Let's go under the effect of the ritual, which will be, let's make that general. Let's make this offense. Let's make this defense. It'll be easier to Photoshop out. All right. So the ability here is none. All right. So a ritual past a ritual handcrafted, to turn back the clock. This forbidden magic allows a spellcaster to manipulate the lingering magic energy of 13 other spellcasters using their primary hands. Is there a word for when you remove somebody's hand? Dismembered. Each dismembered secondary caster uses a skill, the same skill modifiers they had when their hand was severed. How do you do this? The hands are kept in jars, are tied to a clock. 12 hands, sorry, let's do this. 12 hands are tied to a clock, with the 13th being directly manipulated by the primary caster, period. Or I guess the caster is the 13th hand? Oh, that makes more sense. Secondary caster is 12, because there's one primary caster. That makes a lot more sense. So it takes 12 hands from 12 spellcasters, capable of casting 13 combined levels of spells. Okay, that makes more sense. This casting time's a little long. Let's make the casting time 13 hours. That makes more sense. All right. The casters must have the same the secondary casters must have the same ancestry as the primary caster. No, it doesn't. I was just going to bathe in blood. They put that in there. We don't need that, though. The hands must have been severed in the last 6 hours, but may... a spell such as Gentle Repose can extend this time, but using such preserved hands applies a -4 circumstance penalty to the primary and secondary checks. Alright, and what do we do here? The ritual doesn't strictly require that the blood donors be killed and drained. Alright, so then we do successes. So, critical success. You losing your primary, you turn back time up to 13 years. Success. As critical success, except you lose your primary hand, because it's left behind in the old timeline. Failure. The ritual has no effect. Critical failure. You lose... The failure has no effect. No, the failure should be you lose your primary hand. You lose your primary hand, which dissolves. You lose your primary hand, period. Which is lost to the timeline. Critical failure, you lose, as failure. Oh no. Your primary hand is severed, and all 13 hands come to life as severed hands, that immediately attack the primary caster. And there we have it. Triskaphil's Ritual. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to have to modify it so it doesn't look like a monster because it's not a monster. But other than that, it was kind of fun. You could just add that to a... I can't leave it at the 13th level ritual because DCs don't work that way. So let me just... This is... Going back time is definitely a 9th level ritual. So, yeah, there we have it. You could apply this to a villain and you know how... As critical steps, you lose your primary hand and can only go back in time up to 13 days. Alright, I like that a lot. You turn back time up to 13 years. As critical success, except you lose your primary hand and can only back in time up to 13 days. Alright, I like this a lot. So here we have this Mad Scientist Ritual. You can use it to go back in time. Kind of fun. I'm not 100% sure if that's what Triskaphile actually does when it wins the game. I mean, there's a million and one different ways you could flavor winning the game. It could be they perfected the ultimate hand 13 themed amalgam golem of hands. I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for showing on the show. I'm glad I could get 2 things done. Man, I wonder if the root coil creeper could cast this ritual. That would be interesting if it just found the scroll and then once it absorbed it, it became compelled to cast this ritual at all costs. I don't even know why it would want to go back in time. It probably wouldn't. It's just kind of acting on its own. I mean, it is intelligent though. I don't know. That's kind of cool though. I might use that in a campaign. I hope no one from any of my games is watching right now. Anyway, well, thank you again. I will have these are always cool, Dustin. Thank you so much, Faceless Man. These will all be posted to my social media accounts shortly. I might have some news. I'm not 100% sure if I could share it. Let me check my inbox. I can't. I might be able to share it. Come on, it's very relevant to Booster Bestiary. It's cool news. I love it a lot. In fact, I might even be using this from now on. Donate, join the Discord. Give me 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. This is really cool news. I'm really excited. Hi, Param. Jefferson J. Thacker, also known as Param. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Clockwork. That will find it. Oh, I don't see it. Okay, well, the news is there's this website. Yeah, this is cool. This is fine. Yeah, there is cool news. There we go. All right, so there's this website called Pathfinder 2E Dashboard that I just found today. Angry Fox. That's funny, they'll just show up. That's from a PFS scenario. It has a bunch of monsters. You could do some cool stuff with it. I'm going to check it out in more detail later. But, they asked me if they could put my booster bestiary monsters on there, and I'm like, yeah, cool, do it, sure. They're posted social media. I will not even attempt to take ownership of anything made by Wizards of the Coast. This is PathfinderDashboard.com. PathfinderDashboard.com. Pathfinder 2E Dashboard. It looks like a pretty cool site. It has the GM screen here for DCs by level and all the basic skill actions you could want. You could join their Discord. You could donate to them. You could add custom creatures by uploading CSV files with a very specific formatting so that you could have your own custom creatures in here and use these creatures to make encounters, tracking initiatives, hit points, AC, and adding statuses to keep track of your monsters as your encounter goes on. So really, really cool, useful tool that I will probably be using in my own campaign because I've been looking for something like this. I am switching over gradually to Foundry, so that might solve most of those problems, but at the same time, especially now that I got my third monitor, it would be really nice to have something like this. And you don't always have everything ready in Foundry right away. I mean, things happen. PCs decide they go into an alley you didn't expect them to go into and start calling for that Thieves Guild from 17 sessions ago. So yeah, it looks like a really, really cool site. I'm really honored that they want my work on there. Thank you very much. And like I said before, make sure to watch the No Direction Holiday Special tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern. I'll double check. 95% sure I'm right on that. Yeah, no, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. 8 o'clock Eastern for the No Direction Holiday Special tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. And watch my own Infinite reviews on Friday at 6 o'clock Pacific. I will be doing all the last year's worth of 2021 releases for Pathfinder Infinite and try to go over as many books as I can. Maybe I'll use maybe I'll even use my my little timer here and make sure I don't go over time on any of them and try to give equal time to all the products as I just barrel on through and talk about all the awesome things that were released this year. So I'll see you then. Thank you very much for joining me. Have yourself a wonderful week. Roll lots of 20s. Don't forget you have hero points. And have a